Now it is. So let's show these, my cards. Okay, pan and show everybody on one side. Go back to the other and show everybody. Okay, bring it back to me. Alright.
Is it on, Daddy?
Okay. Thank you all for coming. This is the last speech that I have to give for the class. In speech 4 we talked about the crime triangle and removing the element of opportunity for a crime to happen. And we showed how you guys can make that happen. This week we're going to talk about specific things that we can do to remove that opportunity so you're not a victim of crimes. The three crimes that we're going to talk about violent crimes or personal safety type crimes. We're going to talk about property crimes, and we're going to talk about identity theft. With violent crimes or personal safety crimes, the biggest thing is when we're out and about, especially at shopping centers or going to the show, malls, maybe at parks late at night, fishing, camping, is to be with another person, whether it's a spouse, a friend, or even in public with other people. A lot of times we go to the shows and come out late at night. There's not a lot of people there. Those are perfect opportunities for criminals to commit crimes against us. When we are going to these areas, park in a well-lit area. I know a lot of times we'll go and we'll spend a lot of time there. We may not realize it, but think about that ahead of time. Where's the entrances? How far away from these entrances are we parking? Where's the night lights at? As we approach our car, have our key or our key fob ready so that we can get into our cars. And once we're in our cars, lock the door after you get in. Also with locking our doors, same thing at home. When we're at home, lock the doors. That's how a lot of home invasions happen, is because doors are open. Put items, secure items, like during the Christmas season and whatnot, secure those items in the trunk. I know a lot of people nowadays have SUVs and hatchbacks. Try to cover those up so that we don't see them, so those items are out of view. Before we get in our cars, look inside, see if we see anybody in there. A lot of phones these days have flashlight apps, or we can use our phones to look inside those. And if we park in well-lit areas, we can see inside the vehicle. Last but not least, if you're being followed, or you think you're being followed, get to a populated area. Make a phone call to a friend, and if you think that somebody's right there following you, call 911. The police would much rather respond to a false alarm than respond to you being a victim of an assault or a robbery, something to that effect. The FBI's Uniform Crime Reports reports that in the United States, every 26.2 seconds, a violent crime happens. They also report that every 3.5 seconds, a property crime happens in the United States. So we're much more likely to be a victim of property crimes. Property crimes are much more prevalent in the United States, and therefore there's a lot more to think about there. Don't park your cars on the streets. That's where they're crimes of opportunity. They can happen in a second. Don't leave items in your car that you don't want stolen. Lock your cars up. Also, when speaking of locking our cars up, lock our houses up. Make sure windows are secured. Sheds, garages. A lot of times the side doors to garages are left open, and there's a lot of stuff that can be removed out of a garage rather quickly. Purses. Make sure when we carry purses or bags, put them on your body so that they can't be slipped off the shoulder easily. I know Grandma always wears hers across her body, which makes it harder for people to get to. When we're at home, leave the lights on. Criminals don't like lights on as they're approaching houses. They don't like people seeing what they're doing. Don't leave stuff lying around in our yards. One, it makes it look like our yards aren't well maintained and that we don't care about our property. Plus, they're easy to take. So, don't leave stuff laying around in our yards. Lock them up, put them away, and make it look like and maintain our property. If you're going on vacation, let a friend or a neighbor know. You can also let the police know that you're going on vacation, and they can do property checks. Leaving the lights on again to make it look like somebody is home is a good idea, especially if you can put those lights on timers to come on at certain times of the day. Doors and windows, again, make sure they're secure. Last but not least, the third point is identity theft. There's a lot to identity theft, and every time we try to combat it, criminals find out new ways to get our information. Don't give your personal information out over the phone. Don't give your social security number out unless you have to. That is a huge one. Try to protect that as much as you can. Shred documents, bills, even when we get junk mail. Open them up, look at them, shred them. When we're using our debit cards and credit cards, if you don't think it's a reputable business, don't purchase stuff from them. If you are going to purchase from them and you're not quite sure, you can always get prepaid credit cards from like Walmart or your lending institutions and purchase stuff with that. That way it's not tied to any certain bank account or whatnot. Last but not least, check your credit reports, check your bank statements, check your credit card statements. If there's a problem with them, report it to the bank, report it to those credit card agencies that has that problem. And most of all, report it to the police. The police can't do anything about it if they don't know about it. So make sure you're reporting these to the police. So, I think to wrap up, we've talked about property crimes, we've talked about violent crimes, and we talked about identity theft. The only way that we're going to remove that element of opportunity is for you to do it. You're the ones that have to be proactive about it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Thank you.